Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is TRG, the Relationship Guru. And in today's episode, we're going to be tackling 5 tips on heartbreak. So stay tuned for that. Going through heartbreak, well, you clicked on the right video. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 tips that helped me, and they'll definitely help you. Hey everyone, before we get to the rest of the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out, helps grow the channel. Now on to the rest of the video. Tip number 1, no contact. This is a controversial one, and it is probably the most impactful one that really helped me out through my recent heartbreak. So it's exactly what it sounds like. Absolutely no contact. And no, I don't mean you can not SMS them, but you can call them, or you can not do both, but you can still IG them or TikTok them. Nothing. Absolutely nada. You got to shut off everything. Really, really crucial that you do this, at least for the beginning periods of the heartbreak. And the reason being is you've had this person associated with your life day in, day out, probably for a long time. And the longer time that it is, the more difficult it will be. And the more impactful really no contact will be. The first couple days are going to be really, really hard for you. But after, I would say, the first week, you really start to understand that your body can function without that person. Your mind can function without that person. Your heart, your soul can function without that person. And week 2, days 7 through 14 gets a little bit easier. 14 to 21 gets a little bit easier. First month is probably the rockiest part. After that, you start feeling quite, a little more normalcy than you normally would. I know that a lot of people are going to be itching in their first couple days to try to contact that person. Please do not do that if you engaged in no contact. I know that you have to fight every fiber of your being not to reach for the phone and text that person. Every single time one of your friends, texts you, WhatsApps you, whatever, you're going to hear that sound, ding, and you're going to automatically jump to the phone thinking that it's that person that broke your heart. But understand that it's the best thing for you if it wasn't that person. If it helps, and here's an extra tip for you, delete them from all available contacts. So if that's text messaging, Facebook, block them, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram feeds, so you don't see their reels, whatever you need to do to be able to block them out of your life, do that. That has definitely helped some of the people that I've talked to. I didn't purposely do that, but I definitely just completely no contact. So number 1, no contact. Tip number 2, practice self-care. Super important. Whenever we face heartbreak, we tend to get into a funk and a depression. Someone broke our hearts. We really have a lot of self-doubt. Our self-esteem takes a huge dive, and we start to not take care of ourselves. So that could include stuff like not getting up on time, being really like a couch potato, just sitting here watching Netflix all day or whatever, eating potato chips, burying ourselves into like ice cream, not working out anymore, not brushing our teeth, or not showering regularly, not even dressing up appropriately when we go out. You don't gel your hair, you don't wear a nice shirt. This is crucial to practice self-care, even if you don't feel like it. I'm a firm believer that if you dress the part, you will become the part. If you're dressing like $1 million, you're gonna start to believe that you deserve $1 million, or you are gonna be successful enough and lay the groundwork to get $1 million. So tip number 2, self-care. Tip number 3, seek support. So when I was going through my heartbreak a couple of months ago, I really reached out to a lot of friends and family, whether it's people that don't live here anymore, just to have conversations with them, or just to go out to see old friends and hang out and try to get to know new people. Now, it's really, really important that you do this, family and friends, whoever you have in your life, to try to reach out. And if you don't have anyone, I would recommend, joining community groups to try to get to know more people. It's going to get your mind off of some things and try to channel your energy into growing other relationships and seeing how other people are doing. Sometimes just by talking to other people, even if they didn't know anything about your ex or the person that broke your heart, will really help you. A lot of people get this mixed up with going out to like binge partying, right? Or raving or whatever that is. Look, if that's for you, more the power to you. What I would say to that is when you go get smashed with alcohol or you do drugs or whatever, it's a real temporary high. You feel almost euphoric, when you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you're partying and everything like that. And then when you get home, you feel really, really lonely. It's not sustainable, and it's not something that you should feel on a regular basis. Not only that, but you're trying to numb your pain generally with kind of things that are temporary or even substance abuse. So that's something that I totally wouldn't recommend. That's not what I mean at all by going out to kind of seek other people and seek support. But yeah. The other thing that I would recommend is therapy. I think that's huge, especially when dealing with this stuff. I know that in some cultures it's really taboo, including my own. But therapy has definitely helped me grow immensely as a person, as a friend, as a son, as a brother, in the last 3 years. So I'd highly, highly recommend therapy. If you can afford it, if your benefits at work support that. So yeah, tip number 3, seek support. Tip number 4, focus on personal growth. I think this is a really, really big one that kind of gets maybe put on the back burner a lot because self-reflection is really, really difficult. Personal growth isn't quite the same as self-care. It's kind of intertwined in a way. You could take bits and pieces of self-care, but personal growth could be stuff like self-study. So for example, for myself, I really wanted to concentrate on learning Chinese. So I engaged in an app to try to meet more people, to have language partners to be able to do that. Okay, I didn't do as good of a job as I should have, but at least that was something that I tried to do. Meditation was something that I tried to do, and journaling was something I tried to do, kind of reflecting on my own experiences. Reading as well. So reading something that was nonfiction or fiction, whatever floats your boat, is an important thing to do. But just anything that you can take back with you that you feel like you can grow personally from. One of the things that I don't think that people do enough is start to reflect on what they could have done differently. I know it's very, very easy in the moment for us to blame the other party and say, well, they did this, they were horrible, blah, blah, blah. And that all might be true. But I do believe that there's always two sides to the story. And whenever two people are kind of engaged in a problem, it's never 100% someone's fault, generally speaking. There could be some of the things that they said that were right. And you need to do that for you now. Not necessarily because, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong or something like that. And if that motivates you, that's fine. But I like to take it from a more positive angle for myself in terms of self-growth. What can I do to improve myself from now until I find, my next future partner and be better for, that person, right? So tip number 4, focus on personal growth. Huge. Tip number 5, this is a pretty abstract one, but I think this is an important one as well. Allow yourself to feel. Honestly, whenever someone goes through heartbreak, it's almost like losing someone in your life. It's like almost like for some people experiencing a death without the actual dying part. It's a piece of your heart that you almost have to cut off. You have to let that part of yourself go. And that's a really, really tough experience to go through. And if for listeners out there, if you haven't gone through that, it's difficult. I don't really wish that on anyone. I hope you never have to experience that. But I also think that there's a lot of learnings that you can get out of that. And it's also really cathartic to go through the healing process and the self-motivating process after a breakup and the aftermath of the breakup. That almost makes you a better person. I'm a better person today than I was, 6 months ago. And I truly owe that a lot to heartbreak and kind of like stepping up my game in different avenues of my life. So allow yourself to feel. What you're going through is difficult. It is sad. It is heartbreaking. Allow yourself to cry. I know for a lot of people, this is really, really difficult because they've never been given the chance to, or maybe you're not in touch with your feelings that much. Do whatever you need to do that. Give yourself some time to absorb all that, to really, really think those things over. I don't think anyone can really tell you what that timetable looks like. Everyone's timetable is going to be a little bit different, but give yourself some time. Okay, you need to give yourself a little bit of a break to be able to kind of you know, exercise the mind a little bit so that you can free your mind and your heart out of that. So that's tip number 5. Allow yourself to feel. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this episode of TRG. If you like this episode, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel grow. I hope to save the world one step at a time, and I can't do that without you. So please, 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 really appreciate it. I plan to post a video a week, at least that is the hope. So please stay tuned for more content. And if you like this content, please let me know, let me know. I'd love to hear from other people on what they think and how they feel about it. And if they want me to adjust things, I will try my best to cater towards everyone's needs. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and stay tuned for next week's episode. See ya.